Welcome to Behind the Sign, a Collab-Works media production. Hi, friends, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Sign. We're filming here at Collab-Works in Paducah, Kentucky, and I'm your host, Andrea Wilson. Today I have Sherry Wade. Sorry, I have to really think about that because that's new.
Me too.
Today I have Sherry Wade as our co-host, and I cannot wait for you to find out who we have sitting with us. Little hints. If you live in Paducah, you're going to know this for sure. If you've ever visited Paducah, you're also going to know it. It's iconic. It screams Paducah. It's Kirchhoff's.
Yes.
With Colleen, and I'm going to let you say your last name.
Colleen Kania. It looks like Kanya. I've gotten Kanye, but it's Kania.
Kania.
Yes.
Thank you, Colleen, for joining us and
thank you
coming
for
in
having
this
me.
morning to tell this fabulous story of Kirchhoff's.
Yes, I will tell you the best story that I know of Kirchhoff's. Kirchhoff's has a long history here in Paducah, and my time with Kirchhoff's is very small in the long line of it.
Right, you're coming up on a year anniversary soon.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So October 1st will be a full year of ownership of Kirchhoff's. And
I
my
want to
husband and
celebrate
I-
that birthday with you.
Oh, yeah, come on down. We're probably
Alrighty.
going to do something
Alrighty.
to commemorate, the event, because honestly, my husband and I walked into this not really knowing what we were getting ourselves into. And we love Kirchhoff's. We're not from Paducah. I'm born and raised from Tampa, Florida. Lived there for 43 years of my life. Worked in the industry, the food industry, all my life. Wanted to be a pastry chef since I was a very little kid. And my parents thought it was weird because no one in my family cooks. And
Wow.
I knew.
Where did you pick it up then?
I have no idea. It's a God's gift. Like God,
Yeah.
that's what God gave me. He was like, your gift is going to be cooking. And when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a chef. And then by high school, I wanted to be a pastry chef. I like working with my hands. I like being creative. Food can be very creative. And I've always loved art. And I said, culinary is cool, but I can cook a steak and I can plate it and I can put it with the most beautiful garnishes and plate it, and it's beautiful. People are still going to eat that steak. But I can make desserts so beautiful that people don't want to touch it, that they want to keep it. And that's always been like my drive. I love doing that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to be a pastry chef and went to culinary school, went to Johnson & Wales down in Miami, and worked for Marriott, worked my way up the chain through Marriott, and left Marriott after started my family. I met Paul in Tampa. He's from Chicago, and his family moved down to Tampa, and I met him, and we started our family, and I needed something that was a little more family friendly instead of the hotels. Working in the hospitality, it's feast or famine, and I needed something a little more regular. So I went to work for Publix supermarkets and worked my way up as a bakery manager for Publix, and did that for about 15 years and left. And I'd go back. I have a love-hate relationship with Publix. I would leave and come back, but I've always been in food in some aspect. And we decided, COVID hit, and Florida became a hot spot. Everybody wanted to move to Florida. And our house, we got priced out of our house. We couldn't afford to live there anymore. And so Publix had just announced that they were moving into Kentucky. And I said, okay. So we started looking at Kentucky to see if the market was a little better, the housing market was a little better for us.
Right.
And I didn't realize that when I was looking, because Publix didn't announce where we were going,
Right.
but we were going into Kentucky. So I looked at Louisville and I looked at Bowling Green, and that housing market is very comparable to Florida. And I was like,
Yes.
ooh, I'm not going to afford that. Moved over to West Kentucky, looked at Paducah, and I said, Paducah would be a great location for a Publix. It's plenty big, and and all that kind of stuff, and it's a nice town. And so I started looking at houses, and the housing market was much nicer. And I said, okay, we could probably look into this. And then I looked at the map and saw a house on the map for $30,000. I said, what kind of house you can buy for $30,000? Well, I open it up and it's a mansion. And I was like, there's no way. Like, this has to be missing a zero. Like, So I called the realtor. And she said, no, that is the price. Because I didn't realize I had crossed over the river and was looking in Cairo.
Oh.
And I said, you know what? Okay. So we actually came up, looked at the house in Cairo, loved it. Said, okay. So we bought it. And we waited till the kids got out of school. We have 3 kids. And we waited for the kids to get out of school for the summer. And we packed up our lives in Florida, sold our house in Florida, and moved to Cairo, Illinois.
Wow.
We have no family here. We have no ties to the area, nothing. We just moved. And we said, okay, we're going to make a go of it. Here we go. And enrolled our kids in school. I actually had to work in Birmingham because I couldn't find a job right away. And I was going to try and stay with Publix. And I was just going to wait it out till they started building them in Kentucky. So I moved to family in Birmingham, Alabama. And I was driving back and forth on my days off. It's a 6-hour drive from Cairo to Birmingham. So I'd get my 2 days off in a row, and I'd come home for the weekends, and then I'd go back to work. And I worked for Publix. And I did that for 8 months. And it was rough. It was grueling.
Did anyone else from your family go with you? Like any of your children go while you were down there? Or were you all alone?
I was just with my family, my aunt.
You had an aunt, okay.
My aunt was in Birmingham, and I stayed
But you
with
left
her.
your husband and your children behind.
But
You
my
left your
husband
husband in charge of your children
Yes.
behind.
Yes.
Oh, Paul.
Oh, Lord. And you have 2 sons, I believe.
Yes, I do.
Oh, my stars and stripes.
It
Well, the
was-
commitment
Yes.
to do that I'm just,
Well,
Yeah.
Wow.
I will do whatever it takes for my family, and that's what we had to do. And so for 8 months, I did it, and it was rough. Like, it was a really hard time, but I would stick it out. The plan was to stick it out until Paducah got
the
a
Publix.
and
which we still don't have.
not yet.
Okay.
I don't
Because I'm
I
all
don't
excited
know.
thinking this might be a thing.
It could very well be a thing. So
Okay. So you're driving to Birmingham, you're working there.
Yeah.
You're 6 hours from your family. Paul's taking care of the kids. That
Yep.
might be terrifying.
Lord.
I don't know. Was it?
No, he did a great job. He took care of
Good
the
job,
kids
Paul.
and
Good
kept the
job.
house. Yeah, he's great at it. He was fantastic at
And
it.
then
What was
what?
Paul's background?
Well, Paul grew up in bakeries as well. So
Okay, so the kids are fed while you're gone.
and we befriended the ladies there, and we asked them, where's the places to eat in Paducah? And they said, oh, you got to go to Kirchhoff's. So we said, okay. So we came to Kirchhoff's, and we only ate out of the bakery part that day. And we got a bunch of goodies, and I still have the photos in my phone from our first trip to Kirchhoff's. And like Jeff still works there. He's in our photographs. Christy still works there. She's in my photographs.
Oh, we'll have to show those.
Oh,
in
yes.
fact, we're going to put them up on the screen so that,
Absolutely.
hey, if you're only listening, you should watch because
Yes.
we're going to show these photos.
Yes, we made a thing of it, and
Awesome.
Paul and I just sat down and we sat in Etc. and got coffees, and we sat there and just started sampling what we had gotten, and we were like, man, this stuff is really good. And with both of us having bakery backgrounds, Paul worked for Publix for a long time, and he worked for a supermarket back home in Chicago where he's from, and worked at Sam's Club. That's how we met. He was my manager at Sam's Club, and when I got out of culinary school, I came home and got a job real quick. And I've been a cake decorator. I taught myself how to decorate cakes at 16,
Wow.
and I've been able to get a job anywhere I go with that. And so I walked in at Sam's Club and said, hey, I need a job. You need a cake decorator. They hired me. And the joke is that one time he was the boss of me, and now I'm the boss of him. And that was 22 years ago. That was when I met Paul.
Oh, wow.
And,
Behind the Sign is proudly sponsored by L.A. Miller & Associates, your trusted partner in small business growth. For more than 30 years, L.A. Miller has been helping entrepreneurs not just balance their books, but build the business of their dreams. From accounting and tax strategy to consulting and coaching, their team understands that numbers are only part of the story. The real story is your growth. Whether you're just opening your doors or scaling to the next level, L.A. Miller & Associates stands beside you with the expertise, tools, and personal guidance you need to succeed. Because at L.A. Miller, supporting small business isn't just what they do, it's who they are. L.A. Miller & Associates, your partner in growth, your partner in business.
My very first cake that I have pictures in my phone. I'll be more than happy to show it to you.
Yeah, we want to see it all.
1997, I was 16 years old, was a 3-tiered wedding cake. And I made the royal icing flowers for it, and you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me. I thought I was the biggest, I'm a pro.
You crushed
it. You
it.
can't beat me. And I look at that cake now and I'm like, oh Lord, poor baby Colleen. I've never gone without confidence in anything that I do. I've always been very confident in anything I do. And I appreciate my parents for putting that into me.
Yes.
I think a lot of times a lot of people don't have confidence. Now, sometimes I've had way too much confidence.
Yeah. Well, you have to have it.
You have
this story that,
Yes.
we're already this far in, and you wouldn't have done that without that confidence.
No.
Right.
And to me, as you're telling us these things, I'm kind of seeing Tetris. Like all these pieces are just falling in place. They're perfect and
Oh,
they're
man,
falling
yeah.
in. Yeah. So you're at et cetera, you and Paul, right?
Yeah. Having our goodies, absolutely loving it. And we said, okay, we're going to have to come back because I wanted to eat out of the deli the next time. So the next week, because of course I had to go back to Birmingham. So work through that week in Birmingham, come back the next week, and we went to lunch in the deli and had lunch. And the guys were playing music and they're singing and they're dancing and it's light-hearted and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, man, I really like this place. I look at the menu and there's an Ybor City Cuban sandwich on the menu. I grew up 5 minutes from Ybor City. I spent my young clubbing days in Ybor City. And I was like, no way. I was like, oh, I got to get this.
Fate.
Yes.
There's another one of those Tetris blocks just falling right into place.
Yeah. And I love Cuban sandwiches. And my best friend lives in Miami. And Miami says that they're the home of the Cuban sandwich. And people from Tampa say Tampa is the home of the Cuban
It's a battle.
sandwich. I am telling you, it is from Tampa, 100%. and Jaime knows that.
Are we now saying that Paducah is the home of the Cuban sandwich because you come here?
So I'm not gonna lie, our Cuban sandwich is very, very good. It's not a Tampa Cuban, so it's an Ybor-inspired Cuban, but it is delicious. I'm not gonna lie, it's a fantastic Cuban. And while I was eating my sandwich, I sat there and I looked at Paul and I was like, I want to work here. I was like, I don't care what it takes. I want to work here.
That was
like
the moment.
I was ready to walk away from a career that I had built in Publix to come work here. And it took me 8 months to hound Todd Anderson to give me a shot. I walked up with my phone. I asked for the owner, and he came out and greeted me. And I said, hi, you're a bakery that doesn't have cakes. Well, guess what? I'm a cake decorator. Let me show you what I can do. And I showed him my pictures. And he was like, I don't have anything right now, but, let me get your name and number, and I'll, if something comes up, I'll reach out. I said, okay, sure. Well, I wasn't going to let that be the answer. And so
that just wasn't the story.
Yeah.
That wasn't it.
Right.
So every week when I came home, I was like, you got a spot for me yet? Or can you hire me yet? What's going on?
Awesome.
Can I come to work for you now? What's going on? What's going on? And he finally got to a point where he was like, hey, I think I have an opportunity for you to come in, but I need you to meet my business partner. I said, okay. And so
So how long is that?
It was like 7 months and a couple weeks.
So 7 months we hounded Todd.
Every time I was
Let me
home,
work here.
Every time I was home, we would come to Kirchhoff's. Every single week that I was home, we would go to Kirchhoff's so I could bother Todd. And and I finally met Josh Ryan, who was his business partner, who has, had been with Kirchhoff's since it started, basically. And I walked in and I met him, and there's a piece of equipment in the bakery, and it's a rounder. It rounds the rolls.
Okay.
And I walked by it and I said, oh, that's a really cool rounder. I was like, how old is that? And he was like, it's pretty old. I said, well, where's the cover plates? It's supposed to have cover plates on it. He's like, I don't know. And then I sat there and talked with him for about an hour. And he's like, well, let me, let me think about it and I'll give you a call. I said, all right, I appreciate that. And, and I prayed on it, because I really wanted to work there and I wanted to come home. I was ready to come home and, and I love Publix. I really do. But I was ready to come home.
Yeah.
And so he called me and offered me the position. And I said, heck yeah, let's do this. So I came in and did breads. I would help him with the breads. So I was in at 2 o'clock in the morning, and me and Josh Fralix would do breads in the morning, and then I did the desserts. So all the desserts that came out of there, that's what I would do. And I worked 5 days a week. And I would stay for as long as he needed me to. I was constantly hounding him, like, what do you need me to do for you? What do you need me to do for you? What do you need me to do for you? And he was like, what?
Behind the Sign is sponsored by the All-Star Team from L.A. Miller and Associates, keeping small business dreams alive with less stress, more strategy, and just the right amount of number crunching magic.
I've worked at the bakery, loving it, for a year and a half. And Todd was trying to sell his portion of the business. And Josh decided that he was ready to get out of the business as well. And he wanted to sell his portion. And so when he broke the news to Fralix and I was like, oh, okay, well,
Yikes.
we'll see how that goes. And then he had said that, it was probably going to have to close. And that scared me even more because Kirchhoff's like you guys said, it's iconic. It's a cornerstone here in the community.
Yes.
I told him from day one, the walls in that building have magic, and those walls. That place is magical. I have worked in so many different places: Birmingham, Tampa, Miami, Chicago. I've worked in a lot of different markets and been to a lot of places like this. There's nothing like Kirchhoff's. It is very unique.
You know why that is? Because it was calling you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
this
heard
story,
that.
it's got to be. It's got to be.
I've heard that.
So they're going to close, or they're
Well, they were
selling their
talking
business.
about it,
They're selling their.
They're selling out.
And we in Paducah have no idea how
No.
close this all came to
Correct.
something else that could have happened instead of you walking in. So, how long does this? What happens from there?
So I came home when that news came that it was possibly going to close. I went home and I said, Paul, we have to buy the bakery. And he's like, what? And I was like, we're going to have to buy the bakery. I was like, I don't want it to go anywhere. I was like, I don't want to have to redo my resume and go work somewhere else. Like, this is the happiest I've ever been working somewhere. And I truly have been. This is the happiest I've ever been. Working anywhere. And I was like, we have to do this. And he's like, do you think we can? I was like, I think we can.
Yeah.
And so we put it all on the line and bought the bakery. We literally, like, all our finances, everything is tied into this. Like, there is no safety net for us. I have my brother back home in Florida. But I have no other family. Our parents passed away before we moved here.
So you're in a sink or swim moment.
There is no
You have
backup
3
plan.
children still living under your roof.
Yes, correct. So this is it for us. We have no backup plan. So we're fighting. We are going to fight to keep this place going. Not just for us, not just for my family, but for the families of the people who work there.
Well, that was when
Yeah.
when you talked about going and visiting there and eating and the names that you mentioned, and they're still there today.
Yes.
You know, kudos that you kept their employees. But, what a decision anyway.
Right.
To have let go of the people that already knew the processes, already knew the things like that, knew their customer base.
Like, all of us were going to have to go find somewhere else to go.
Yes.
When we all love that. And I'm not the only one that loves that place. Everybody who works there, everybody loves that place. They all have stories to tell. And I wasn't fortunate enough to get to meet Louie. I wish I had an opportunity. I used to tell Josh all the time, I wish I had found this place 100 years ago, like 12 years ago. I wish we would have found this place because this place is amazing. And the stories that I hear from the customers and, like, our friends of the bakery that come in and talk to me, and they tell me stories of Louie and Jenny. And I fortunately have been able to meet Jenny and talk with her, and if I have questions or concerns or anything, I can call her, and she has always made herself available to me to tell me what her family business is. And I wanted to talk to her when I was buying it, because that's your family's name on that building, and I don't want to bring any shame or disgrace to your name, you know. And so tell me what it is that you want to see. Like, what do you want?
And what did Jenny tell you when you asked her? Like, what do you remember what some of that was? Like, what was important for you to keep?
So she was basically just, you know, do with it that you feel's right. And, you know, and she's like, if you have any questions, you want to know something, she's like, the door's open. Call me, you know, we can talk and all that kind of stuff. And she has kept that. So Jeff and Shannon, they have been with Kirchhoff's for a long time. Most employees have been there for 10, 12, 15, you know, 20
Very unusual
years.
for the food industry.
Absolutely. And so we hit the ground running, you know, and all of us, and we've talked about it because we feel like we've hit our stride. We've worked through all our issues that we had. Because I went from just being responsible for helping with bread and making desserts to now running a business, making, you know, doing all the recipes, you know, writing menus and doing specials and, you know, running the bakery and the deli and our wholesalers. Like, there's 3 different moving parts to this business. It's not just a deli and a bakery. We also do wholesale for a lot of the restaurants in town. We do over under. We do
providing the bread.
Yes, you know, and so there's a lot of moving parts. And I just went from having to do 2 things to now doing all things. You know, and Paul came in when we bought the business. He came in, and so he had to hit the ground running and figure out how he was gonna do what he needed to do. So he was learning employees, learning everyone's names. Now he's heard these names. I go home and talk about work, and but he would come in and visit, but he had to get to know these people and what they can and can't do and what he needs to do to like help everybody and find his place. And this is in the middle of holiday season. Like, it's October 1st. Like, we went right into Halloween as brand new owners, and he's trying to get his feet underneath him, and I'm trying to carry everything. So
in a big way, actually, going in at that time, it's kind of like that pressure test. And so if you can do it then, you can do it anytime. So now you've bought the business, you and Paul, you're all in, the announcement's been made. Did Paducah embrace you?
Yes.
Yay!
So, yes.
Yay!
And that's
Paducah!
Sorry, I got off track. That was what I
okay.
wanted to speak for the people of Paducah, is everybody has been so welcoming and has given us a chance. Like, we had growing pains like anybody else. And the breads just weren't coming out like they were before. Like, so we were like troubleshooting recipes and trying to figure it out and like get that stuff, because, you know,
and I feel like that can be a show all its own, because that's chemistry, right?
It is. Yes, they're called formulas. They're not recipes. They're formulas.
Right, because you've got the yeast and you've got I don't even know, but so let's not go down that road because that is a long road to travel. So you're learning that.
Yeah, so we have to like figure it out, and like Josh had been doing them for so long, like he just knew it off the top of his head. Yeah. So like for him, it was no big deal. Well,
do you have the recipes?
Yes.
Are they written?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And but it was figuring it out for myself.
Yeah.
And it took some time. Like, we were really on the struggle bus.
You're running the business, you're making the bread, you've got to have the food ready for the deli, you've got the pastries, you've got the kids, the husband, the drive from Cairo, and you're killing it. You're making it work.
I'm trying. Every day we try, every single day. And we have great days. We have successful days where like, yes, we did it. And it's the reminder that we're doing the right thing.
You just know that in your gut.
Yes.
When you're doing the right thing.
Yes. And then there's days when we go home and like, I want to cry. Like yesterday was a really rough day. Yeah. So to be there at 2:00 in the morning, we wake up at 12:30 at night to get up, get showers, get dressed, and drive to work, because we're driving from Cairo. And it takes anywhere, but depending on how I'm driving, anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour. Get there at 2 o'clock in the morning, a little after 2 actually, but 2 o'clock is 2-ish, o'clock-ish. I had an incident with an employee that I thought I was going to have to fire. And it broke my heart because I really do enjoy having this employee there. So we dealt with that situation.
Great.
And then it was one setback after another. I was making banana pudding. Now, I'll let you know, I am highly allergic to bananas. I cannot touch them.
Oh, how funny.
I cannot touch them. I can't be around them. I can't eat them. I'll die if I eat one. Like EpiPen.
So you have to wear gloves?
No, I don't touch them.
You can't even with gloves?
No, nothing. No, it is awful.
Who's allergic to bananas? Colleen.
So
you're making the
even,
banana
like going to
pudding.
the grocery store, walking by the bananas, my throat wants to like close up. I get really itchy. My lungs start to burn. Like just it's crazy, and
and you're making banana pudding.
Yes. So I make the pudding part.
Oh,
and then somebody else does the banana part.
I wondered how that was going to happen
And
because
you
I think about that.
You said that you burned it.
I burned the pudding 2 times, but three batches.
In your defense, this is like at what, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning? I mean,
Yeah, but that's not an excuse. I do this all the time. Like 2 o'clock in the morning is no big deal. Like that's my normal life.
And that wasn't even all in your day.
No, that's just part of my day. My day is broke up in like 3 or 4 different parts. Like I come in.
Well, it's so long. There's no way it cannot be broke up into 3 or 4
But was the
different parts.
pudding incident, was that like that was
No,
nothing else?
that was
your
Nothing else
starter?
bad happened?
No, my walk-in went down, so I had to call the repair guys to come out there and look at that. And
An
my
employee
freezer went
walk-in
down.
freezer,
Yes.
pudding.
Yes. And then it was nuts.
That was 4 strikes, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
3
that was
strikes,
before-
Sherry.
No, employee, freezer.
Freezer,
Pudding.
walk-in, pudding.
Sherry, what I meant was it's only 3 strikes and you're out. Look, her
Oh,
commitment,
okay,
she
that's
stays in. She's like, I am not out.
Yeah, I'm still. We re-rocked through it, boy. I tell you what,
Well, I'm
but
glad.
it was not fun, and that was all before 12 o'clock. Just
Before noon.
before
noon.
before noon. We had all that stuff going on.
Well, and
And-
that's probably kind of not common for you, but you have so many challenges that I find it hard to believe that every day doesn't just like get in your face and be like, hey, well, how are you going to pass this one today?
Right.
And you do it.
And then in the
we're
beginning-
so grateful you do.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And in the beginning, it was like that. Like we were, Shannon and Jeff and we laugh about it now, but when we first took over, I felt like a duck. And I talk about this like a duck on water. Like I was like, every day I was scared that I had made the wrong choice. Like I'm not doing the right thing. Like I'm letting the people of Paducah down. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting y'all down. Like, and so, I was like, I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And he's like, we would have never guessed. He's like, you came into work every day. He's like, you would do what you needed to do. He's like, you never seemed like you were panicked. And the confidence, he's like, you just seemed like you were really confident. And I was like, I was, but I was panicked. And I was like a duck on water. Like I may look all graceful and smooth
But
on top,
underneath,
but underneath,
I am paddling
I'm
like nobody's
pedaling.
business.
Yes. Richard Flowers is Louie's best friend. He still comes in the bakery just about every day and checks with me.
That means so much.
Yes. And he tells me tons of stories about Louie and Jenny and Dot and, things that went on before I had an opportunity. And I tell people all the time, whenever I meet somebody that's like, man, I remember Louie would do this and that and all this stuff. I'm like, come tell me your stories.
Yeah.
Come tell me those stories because that's what's going to keep this place going.
You're going to make sure that those stories stay alive.
Correct.
Because you know them firsthand. They're not hearsay.
Correct.
And you are going to keep those stories alive.
Yes.
That's right.
And we do. We have people that come in all the time.
You may have to add deli, bakery, and storytelling.
Right. I love that place. I love that place. It's only been special for me for 3 years, but it's been special for other people for a lifetime. What we're doing is we're not changing Kirchhoff's. It's going to stay Kirchhoff's. We're going to offer breads. We're going to offer the old world way of doing things, desserts, pastries. We're hoping by the end of this year, we'll have a cold case back out there for cakes and slices and specialty desserts that we haven't been able to do because we don't have a place to merchandise them. Bring a focus to that. Bring that stuff back. We're doing the deli menu. We're going to keep a lot of the stuff on the deli menu just as it is. But we're going to add a couple different things that we feel is kind of missing. Like, we want to have a kids menu on our menu. There's not one right now.
So important.
And we want it to be a family. We want you to bring your family in. We want you to sit down and have lunch with us, with your family, kids included. So we're going to do a kids menu. We're going to bring back some of the old sandwiches that people ask for all the time that's not on our menu. We're not redoing the whole wheel.
So where will people be able to see that?
We have a website. It's kirchhoffsbakery.net. And you can go see our menu that we have available now. And our specials menu is updated every single week. Facebook is another great way. It's Kirchhoff's Bakery.
Do you post like daily specials? Do you do a week menu at a time? How does that work?
We post our specials menu on Facebook every week as well, so you can see what we got coming up, and it tells you the days, what's in it. We've hired a lot of young kids that don't have my skill set, but they're learning. Everybody there has years and years of experience and a lot of knowledge. Well, we're trying to instill that in a younger generation. My kids. So my son, my middle kid, Trent, he got in trouble at school for summer school. And so he learned a very valuable lesson, and he came to work with mom and dad every day. We work 6 days a week. Even though we're closed on Sundays and Mondays, we're there on Monday doing like our administrative stuff. But he came to work with us every day during the summer. If we came in at 2:00 in the morning, he came in at 2:00 in the morning with us, and he worked. And he loves it. My 16-year-old, super creative with food. He loves it. He told me he wants to be a chef.
I love that.
And so he loves coming in and working too. With his school schedule and stuff, it's a little harder. I was just lucky that it was Kirchhoff's. Like, I count my blessings every day that I get to call Kirchhoff's home. Like, that is my home. That's where I get to go. I am the most comfortable there. I am the happiest there. There are days when I am angry, frustrated about whatever,
normal.
but
Yeah.
that's normal. That's life.
Yes.
But the good, like the satisfaction and the fulfillment I get outweighs all of that every day.
Absolutely.
Our worst day, yesterday was terrible.
Yeah.
The good that comes out of it outweighs that 100%.
We are blessed that someone came in with the passion and that was led there to continue what Kirchhoff's built. And we are very, very grateful. What's your biggest challenge?
So many moving parts and so many hats that you have to juggle that I've had experience with working in management and stuff like that, but it was never mine. I was just a manager for somebody else. So yes, I still had a lot of moving parts, but ultimately it wasn't on my shoulders. This is all on my husband and I's shoulders. Like, this is ours to carry. So there's a lot of moving parts, and we're the only ones responsible for it. Like, so making those things happen, like it's scary. It can be very, very scary.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Colleen from Kirchhoff's.
Thank
you for
having me.
everything.
No, thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun, and there's so much more to Kirchhoff than what I can fit in this time.
Oh, well,
gonna
you
do
know what?
more.
We're happy to do series for you.
Yes.
So we could
Listen.
we could start a story series.
Okay.
I would love it.
All right.
I know a lot of people would love that, actually.
So we'll ask everyone, hey,
And we're
Be
just going to
watching
call
for
this
that.
the introduction.
We
There
could
are
do this.
multiple chapters. This is
right.
just the introduction.
so stay tuned for more of Colleen's story and for the future, because it's just going to keep unfolding.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much. Thank you, Sherry, for co-hosting with me today.
You're welcome. It's been my
And
pleasure.
you can't see her, but Renee Waldrop is behind the scenes. She's
Thank
doing
you,
our
Renee.
production for us today, and we appreciate that very, very much. I know it was like wrangling cats. You couldn't keep us
Yes.
keep us in line, but thank you for trying, and thank you for listening to the story today, because it's so special and special to Paducah, special to us individually. And with that, we'll wrap up from Collab-Works. We hope to see you next time, friends. Bye.
This has been a Collab-Works Media production.